3 heartwarming days alone at the station until a little girl discovered her amazing mama. On a chilly autumn afternoon, Clara stood alone at the near-deserted train station, like a lighthouse in a fog of despair. Her breath formed little clouds as she huddled beneath a worn-out jacket that had seen better days. It was a long, grueling shift, one of many in her struggle to support her 2 kids while her estranged husband battled his own demons overseas. Every tick of the clock echoed the weight of her dreams, underscored by the ghostly sound of trains that once carried hope across the land. Yet here she was, a steady force for her children, exhausted but determined to carve out a better future. As she scrubbed tables and swept floors, older folks reminisced about the vibrant life of the once bustling station. With each nostalgic sigh, Clara felt the sting of their fading hopes. She poured herself into the work, imagining afternoons where laughter filled the air instead of silence. One day, while taking a sip from her lukewarm coffee, a timid little girl named Emily wandered in, eyes bright and curious, taking in the world around her with an eagerness that felt almost contagious. "Hi there," Clara smiled, her heart softening at the sight of Emily's oversized coat, the sleeves dragging as she moved. Each day, Emily returned, and Clara found herself sharing stories about her days, recounting her dreams and the little joys of motherhood while reminding herself why she worked so hard. As the girl listened, she would giggle and lean closer, absorbing the tales of bravery like the autumn leaves soaking in the sun. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." But as Clara began to find her rhythm, the arrival of a local businessman sent a chill through her. With old stereotypes rolled off his tongue like venom, he belittled her hard work, reminding her of the fragile line she walked. In that moment, Clara felt her spirit fracture, torn between being the invisible backbone of her family and stepping into the light she had dreamed of. Emily watched this interaction wide-eyed, sensing the shift in the air. Her innocent admiration for Clara solidified against the tide of prejudice. With each sunset, they shared more stories, more laughter. Clara ignited a fire within herself, fueled by the budding friendship, the glimmer of hope for what her life could be. The moment Emily publicly defended her, declaring Clara the hero of her tales, shattered barriers the community had held tight for far too long. Conversations about equality and recognition bloomed like wildflowers in spring. Yet, at the crossroads of her journey, Clara faced a daunting truth. Was she willing to crown herself with the courage to claim her dreams, risking it all? Or would she choose the quiet comfort of being the unseen anchor for her children? The stakes had never been higher, and as she looked into Emily's wide eyes, Clara felt the pulse of hope and fear thrumming together. The train whistle pierced the evening air, a call that echoed the question hanging in the balance: what will she choose? The future waited, teetering on the edge of transformation. As the chilling night settled over the train station, Clara's heart fluttered with uncertainty. Emily's words echoed in her mind, their impact swelling like an unbroken wave of hope. It was breathtaking and terrifying all at once. Would she truly step into her own light? With every train that rolled in and out, Clara felt the stirrings of ambition that had long been tucked away. She began to notice the glances exchanged among the few patrons. Whispers of Emily's declaration translated into a budding respect for her work. It was exhilarating yet foreign territory. She had spent years training herself to remain invisible, to be the unnoticed backbone. Now, Clara had to confront the idea of being seen. As she cleaned, her hands moved on autopilot, but her thoughts were alive with possibility. After finishing her shift, she gathered the courage to approach Mr. Braddock, the businessman who had so rudely dismissed her. He was standing beside a platform, overseeing some deliveries, confidence exuding like warm sunlight. Deep breath, Clara thought, squaring her shoulders. She stepped forward and forced a smile. "Mr. Braddock?" He turned, his eyebrows lifting in surprise. "Clara! Didn't he expect to see you here after our last conversation? Everything all right?" His tone was patronizing, but Clara felt her instincts urging her on. "Actually, it's more than all right. I wanted to talk about the community, about what really matters here." Mr. Braddock narrowed his eyes. "And what would that be?" people, families, hard work. We're all invested in this station, and I think it can be more than just a stop for trains. It can be a place of connection and support. His face was a mask of skepticism, but Clara pressed on. I poured my heart into this job because I believe in what this place could represent. It's more than my paycheck, it's about community and belonging. The words hung in the air, heavy and laden with intent. Clara expected him to scoff, but instead, she saw a flicker of curiosity. Interesting perspective, he said slowly, as if he were considering her for the first time. Meanwhile, Emily, unaware of the powerful moment unfolding, sat at a nearby table, crafting a small drawing. Clara watched her, admiration swelling in her chest. The girl had sparked something inside her, something she almost thought too dim to exist. Just as her hopes began to build, the train whistle cut through the air, announcing the arrival of a new locomotive. It was a jarring reminder of the transience of moments. With every train that rolled into the station, there were stories to be told and lives to intertwine. Clara didn't want to miss her chance. "Can I propose a community event?" Clara asked, her voice steady despite the tremor of her hands. "Something that showcases the strength of our station and our stories? It could bring people together again." Mr. Braddock regarded her with a newfound intensity, as though deciding whether to invest in her dream or dismiss it again. "It has potential," he finally conceded, his eyes narrowing thoughtfully. "But it's a risk. You will need to prove it can bring more than just nostalgic memories." Hope surged, but mixed with doubt. Clara nodded, embracing the challenge. She felt exposed but invigorated. This was her chance to rise, not just for herself but for her children and every story held within the walls of that fading station. Yet as excitement washed over her, a new fear crept in. Clara understood the weight of ambition. Could she rally the support she needed? But more importantly, would she have the courage to remain visible in a world that had long taught her to hide? As she turned back to Emily, the girl looked up, her gaze filled with unwavering faith. At that moment, Clara realized that perhaps the answer lay not only in her dreams but in the connections they could forge together, the little girl and the woman who took on the world. And just then, the sound of another train approached, each whistle echoing like a heartbeat, urging Clara deeper into this new chapter of her life. What awaited her at the next station? A journey she had never dared to imagine. Would she seize the moment or let it slip away like so many forgotten trains? Clara stepped back, momentarily lost in her thoughts. The urgency of the train's approach filled her ears, a metaphor for the time she felt ticking away, but the focus on Emily steadied her resolve. That girl believed in her, maybe even more than she believed in herself. If Emily saw something special in her, something worth fighting for, then maybe she could, too. "Let us do it, Clara!" Emily burst out, breaking through her reverie. The girl's confidence radiated like sunlight. She waved her art supplies. "We can make posters, and I can draw all the cool things." Clara laughed, the sound bright and full of warmth. "Absolutely." The mere thought of planning an event sparked a small fire in her heart. The grit she'd buried deep beneath years of routine began to resurface, igniting her thoughts with excitement. "Let us brainstorm ideas," she said, sinking into the seat next to Emily. The table was littered with crayons and paper. What would best represent the spirit of the community? An idea blossomed as Emily shared her dreams. They discussed activities that could highlight local talents, allowing families to share their stories. Art and music were central. Community members could showcase their skills, reminding everyone that this place belonged to them all. The marquee lights flickered above them, sending a surge of energy through the station. Clara envisioned the walls decorated with drawings and photos, each one contributing to a tapestry of shared experiences. It was a chance for the community to reclaim a space that had stood stagnant for too long, but amid the thrill, doubt whispered like the wind through the train tracks. Would people really come together? Was she capable of pulling off such a monumental task? With Mr. Braddock's cautious approval looming over her, Clara felt the pressure build. "Emily, what if no one shows up?" she murmured, glancing sideways at the girl. Emily's blue eyes widened, shimmering with determination. "They will. Because you will make it happen. You have to believe in yourself like I believe in you." Clara's heart warmed. The little girl's faith felt like a lifeline. Okay, she nodded, then let us outline the first steps. We need to gather support, talk to the people who come through here every day, and get them on board. Emily burst into action, jotting down notes and drawing small sketches. Clara watched, enchanted by her infectious enthusiasm. Together, they sketched out a list of ways to encourage participation, reach out to local vendors, and perhaps even tie in a fundraiser that could help with the station's needs. Hours flew by as they planned, the world outside the station dimming into a beautiful tapestry of stars. The trains continued to roll through, each whistle a reminder of fleeting chances and bold decisions. Suddenly, Mr. Braddock reappeared, arms crossed, eyebrows raised in curiosity. He observed the scattered papers and sketches on the table, and Clara felt a swell of nervousness ripple through her. "Looks like you two are up to something," he said, a hint of amusement in his tone. Clara felt vulnerable under his scrutinizing gaze. "We're planning a community event," she said, her voice confident despite the flutter in her stomach. "It's to help people reconnect and celebrate the spirit of our station." The words flowed out, bold against the backdrop of her fears. Mr. Braddock remained silent a moment, studying her. Finally, he nodded, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. "All right, Clara. I want to see how this unfolds. Keep me in the loop." She blinked, feeling an unexpected rush of hope. "Really? You'll support us?" "I'll consider it," he replied, his tone now far more inviting. "But you need to put in the work. I'll be watching." As he walked away, Clara caught Emily's eye. The girl beamed, her excitement contagious. "See? He is interested." Emily cheered, bouncing eagerly in her chair. Clara smiled, her heart light with promise. "Yes, but it's just the beginning. We have a lot to do." And for the first time in years, the unseen woman felt visible, braving the unknown. Clara knew this moment marked a shift, a chance to embrace who she truly wanted to be. As they continued their planning, each laugh and sketch built a stronger connection between them, illuminating the path ahead. But deep down, Clara knew a storm was brewing, something that could challenge everything she was building. The night wore on, filled with hope and determination as the trains rolled on like the essence of life. Yet shadows lingered beyond the light, for what obstacles would they face on this journey? Would the community truly come together, or would doubt crash into their dreams just as trains clashed on the tracks? Clara held her breath, ready to face whatever the next day might bring. Clara woke up the next morning to the distant sound of trains rumbling along the tracks, each whistle a call to action. She stretched her arms wide and inhaled deeply, the scent of coffee brewing in the small station cafe filtering into the waiting room. She had promised Emily they would get to work, and today felt like a fresh start. As she made her way to the station, Clara's heart raced with a mix of excitement and anxiety. She set up their planning area at the same table, covered with the colorful explosion of crayons and sketches left from the night before. Emily arrived shortly after, a fluorescent backpack bouncing at her side. "Clara! Look what I brought!" she exclaimed, pulling out a stack of old magazines and a pair of scissors. Clara squinted, curiosity piqued. "What do you have in mind?" "I want to make a collage. We can use these for ideas and inspiration for the posters." Emily's enthusiasm charged the space like static electricity. "Perfect. Let's get started." Clara felt the power of momentum already building around them. The two dove into the project, laughter ringing out as they cut pictures and words, weaving inspiration from the pages. Hours passed quickly, filled with creative energy. Clara started feeling more than just excitement. She felt a shared purpose. This was a mission they were collectively embarking on. With each cut and glue stick, she could almost see the community's spirit weaving itself into the fabric of her plan. "Okay, let us brainstorm some names for the event," Clara announced, her eyes alight. Emily clapped her hands together. "What about Celebrate Your Community Day? Or Together We Thrive?" Clara suggested, and they tossed ideas back and forth, fueled by the possibility of something greater than themselves. But then, as Clara wrote their top choices on a fresh sheet, doubt crept back in. What if people don't show up? All this effort for nothing? "Clara!" Emily's voice was firm and clear, like a bell ringing through the fog. People will come. They need this. We all need it. I can feel it. Her words felt like a balm to Clara's fears. Perhaps Emily was right. This was bigger than her, and they had the chance to inspire change. As the daylight began to fade outside, Clara noticed people starting to trickle into the station. Morning commuters, families heading to the city, all bound for different destinations. They brushed past the duo, but no one stopped to ask about the vibrant posters or the art they had been creating. Maybe we should approach some of them, Clara suggested, her stomach tightening again. Yeah. We can ask them what they think of our ideas. Emily said, her spirit unyielding. With shaky confidence, Clara and Emily made their way to the platform. Clara felt exposed, as if she was standing on a stage with all eyes on her. But Emily pressed her tiny hand into Clara's, steadying her with unspoken encouragement. Excuse me. Emily chirped, catching the attention of a young woman waiting for her train. We're planning a community event at the station. Would you come? The woman smiled, pausing to listen. Sounds intriguing. What is it about? Clara felt the warmth of hope spark inside her again. She stepped forward, courage building. We want to give families a chance to come together, share art, celebrate our story's life here. The woman nodded, her interest growing. That sounds wonderful. I'd love to bring my kids. One by one, they approached more people. Clara watched as smiles spread, hesitance melting away into excitement. Maybe Emily had been right all along. As the day wrapped up, Clara was filled with a new energy. She and Emily returned to their table, surrounded by colorful sketches and notes. This is just the beginning, Clara said, a smile breaking across her face. Yes. And we'll tell everyone we see. Emily twirled around, her laughter echoing in the usually quiet station. Clara's heart swelled with a hopeful thought. Could they really do this? Could they resurrect the spirit of the community? Yet, just as the sun began to dip below the horizon, a chilling thought settled in her mind. What obstacles might disrupt their plans? The future was still uncertain, but at that moment, Clara felt something shift inside her. This was worth a fight. All at once, she turned to Emily, excitement shadowed by the weight of what stood ahead. What if we have some hidden talents within our own community waiting to surprise us? Who will we discover? As the last train of the night rolled in, Clara recognized the journey they were embarking on was only beginning, and the biggest challenges lay ahead. Would they be able to turn their dreams into reality? The next morning brought with it the freshness of possibility. Sunlight poured through the station windows, casting beams of warmth on Clara and Emily as they set to work on more collages. Clara's mind was racing, a whirlwind of ideas, and she could hardly sit still. Today, we're going to create posters that catch everyone's attention, Clara announced, her voice brimming with excitement. She placed large sheets of paper in front of Emily, who nodded eagerly, her eyes sparkling. I can create something with colors. Emily's fingers danced through the crayons, selecting bright yellows and lively pinks. As they worked, Clara couldn't shake the feeling that they were building something special, a bridge into the heart of their community. Hours flew by as they crafted slogans and vibrant images. Art changes lives, Emily declared, sticking another colorful cutout onto the poster, her belief in their mission radiating from her small frame. What if we ask more people for help? Clara pondered, suddenly filled with new resolve. We could invite local artists to share their talents, maybe even musicians. Yes. And we could get volunteers from the neighborhood to help us set everything up, Emily added, her face alight with ideas. Clara felt a surge of hope. This was growing into a true community effort. They spent the next few hours compiling lists of local artists, musicians, and even food vendors who could bring their flavors to the event. Clara could see it in her mind, kids laughing, families gathering, and the station bursting with life. However, amidst the excitement, Clara's insecurities crept in again like shadows. What if no one wanted to join in? Emily, she said slowly, what if people think this is a silly idea? What if the artists don't want to be part of it? Emily paused, her eyes serious. But what if they do? What if they want to share their art just as much as we want to share ours? Sometimes, you have to believe. Look how far we've come already. Clara felt a shift inside her. It was true. They had already sparked interest, and the small victories were adding up. They needed to share their excitement, and that would surely resonate with others. All right, Clara finally said. Let us make a plan to approach everyone we can. We can post on social media, too. Maybe even see if we can get a local newspaper interested. The two spent the rest of the day gathered by the cafe window, crafting posts and making phone calls, reaching out to anyone who could help. With every message sent, they felt like they were weaving a larger fabric, connecting with and bringing in the community. As night fell, they noticed the station was quieter, the hum of everyday life fading into a gentle quiet. They wrapped up for the day, both of them tired yet satisfied. Walking outside, Clara inhaled the cool night air. The twinkling stars above felt like scattered inspirations waiting to be realized. Tomorrow, we'll work on the final touches, and then we can take these ideas to the people. We can't hold back anymore. Just then, a little girl passing by with her mother paused to watch them. Clara could see the spark of curiosity in her eyes as she pointed at the colorful posters. Clara smiled, feeling drawn to that innocent wonder. What's that for? The girl asked, stepping closer. This? Clara knelt down to her eye level, filled with warmth. We're organizing a big community celebration. The girl's eyes widened. Can I come? Of course. Emily interjected with glee. Can we tell everyone? The girl's tiny voice was full of hope, and Clara found herself smiling as a wave of possibilities washed over her. Walking back to the station, Clara felt that fire inside her again. There were countless voices waiting to be heard, dreams waiting to be shared. What if they created a movement that rippled through the community? What if they unleashed a wave of creativity that brought people together? As Clara lay in bed that night, her mind was alive with plans. She thought about the little girl's excited face and the warmth of her curiosity. It wasn't just about the event anymore, it was about connection, about community. The future still held its uncertainties, but Clara's heart raced with renewed determination. A question lingered in her mind: what if the community had talents and stories hidden away, just waiting for a chance to shine? Clara closed her eyes, excitement surging within her as she pictured the possibilities ahead. Would the next day unveil talents they had yet to discover? And who else would join their mission? The following morning brought a lively buzz to the station. Clara woke up with a smile that stretched from ear to ear. Today was the day. She hurried to the cafe window, her heart flapping like a banner in the breeze. The sunlight streamed in, illuminating the posters they had worked on together, a kaleidoscope of colors that seemed to dance in anticipation. Clara met Emily outside, a burst of sunshine in her vibrant yellow dress. Are you ready for this? She asked, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Ready. Emily beamed, clutching a stack of flyers. They had decided to hand them out to passers-by, hoping to spread the word about the upcoming community celebration. With that, they set off, spirits high and determination pulsing through their veins. As they began distributing the flyers, Clara was surprised at the warm reception. People smiled, took the flyers willingly, and asked questions. She felt the thrill of possibility expanding around her like the great blue sky above. An older gentleman stopped to chat. This sounds wonderful, girls. My granddaughter plays the violin. I'll tell her about your event. His eyes twinkled as Clara felt herself grow taller with pride. They continued their mission, watching as a group of teenagers paused to read their poster. Clara could hear snippets of their laughter, and it filled her with joy. Each interaction felt like planting a seed in a garden just waiting to bloom. Look at them! Emily exclaimed as they walked away. People are excited. But as Clara's heart fluttered with hope, a flicker of doubt snuck in. What if it doesn't turn out the way we imagine? She wondered aloud, her voice softer now. Emily stopped, turning to face her friend. Clara, we are already making a difference. People are talking to us, and that means they care. Sometimes the magic happens in the unexpected. Clara took a deep breath, letting Emily's words sink in. No matter what happened, she realized they had already started something meaningful. As the day wore on, they returned to the station to finalize their plans. Just as they were setting up for a final review, an unexpected visitor appeared. It was the little girl from the other night, tugging at her mother's hand with an eagerness that made Clara's heart swell. "Can we help?" the girl asked, eyes wide and sparkling. "Yes. Please," Clara said, crouching down to meet her gaze, while her mother watched with a proud smile. The girl hopped from foot to foot, her excitement infectious. "I want to draw something special for the celebration." Clara and Emily exchanged glances, thrilled at the girl's enthusiasm. They gathered paper and crayons, and soon the little girl was sitting at the table, concentrating deeply on her artwork. "Look at her. She has got so much talent," Emily whispered, as they both watched her fill the page with bright, smiling faces and colorful balloons. The mother approached them, her eyes glistening. She has been shy about sharing her art, but this might be just what she needed. "Thank you for letting her help." Clara felt a warmth radiate within her as the little girl presented her finished drawing, full of joy in life. It was more than just a piece of art, it was proof of what a little encouragement could do. As Clara glanced around the station, she felt every corner thrumming with potential, connections forming right before her eyes. Imagine how many more stories are waiting to be told. But just then, a surprise notification pinged on Clara's phone, a response from a popular local artist she had reached out to. Heart racing, she opened the message. What would it say? Would they join their celebration? A rush of anticipation filled the air, thick with possibilities, as Clara and Emily exchanged eager smiles. Clara couldn't help but wonder, what kind of magic would the event bring? Would everyone show up, and what incredible talents would they uncover together? The stars above seemed to whisper answers, urging them forward into the unknown. Clara held her breath as she read the artist's response. The words danced before her, and the moment stretched like taffy. "I would love to participate," the email began, and her heart soared. "I've been looking for opportunities to connect with the community. Count me in." She looked up at Emily, who was bouncing slightly on her heels, urgency and excitement radiating from her. "Did they say yes?" "Yes." Clara beamed, her smile lighting up the room. "We're officially going to have a local artist at our event. This is huge." They jumped into a quick huddle, laughter bubbling between them. Suddenly, the day felt charged with even greater potential. But as Clara's thoughts raced, she felt a twinge of anxiety creep back in. What if people don't come? What if I let everyone down? Emily placed a gentle hand on Clara's back. "We can't control everything, but we're doing our best. Look at how many people already care. That matters." The warmth of her friend's support reassured Clara, but the fluttering whispers of doubt lingered. As they continued their preparations, she found herself zoning in and out, her mind darting around the possibilities. Later that afternoon, as shadows deepened and dusk crept in, Clara had the idea to hang the little girl's artwork proudly on the bulletin board. With each poster pinned, she felt the weight of the unknown lift slightly. "We're showcasing everyone's contributions," she said to Emily, who nodded in agreement, her eyes alight with enthusiasm. Suddenly, Clara's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from the girl's mother. She wanted to confirm they would join the celebration and added that the little girl had told all her friends about it. Clara felt a rush of happiness. "It's beginning, Emily. We're creating a ripple effect." The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the station. Clara and Emily stayed late to put the final touches on the decorations. They hung colorful ribbons and fairy lights, creating a dreamy atmosphere that twinkled like stars in the sky. The station was gradually turning into a place of celebration. Clara couldn't help but imagine everyone gathered there, the laughter, the stories, the beautiful connections. She closed her eyes, picturing the little girl standing beside her, proudly showing her art to the crowd, and then, a knock at the door interrupted her reverie. They swung it open to find a small group of neighbors, greeted by warm smiles. "We heard about your event. Can we help?" one of them asked, holding a basket of homemade cookies. Clara's heart swelled again. It wasn't just her and Emily, it was about the whole community joining forces. She watched as the neighbors pitched in, each adding their own creative touches to the celebration. They painted, drew, baked, and sang together, voices intertwining in a vibrant melody of enthusiasm. In that moment, Clara realized that the event wasn't just about her vision anymore, it was blossoming into something greater than she had dreamed. As night fell and laughter echoed through the station, Clara took a step back. She felt a warmth spreading through her chest, like sunlight breaking through clouds after a storm. It was more than joy, it was hope. But as she turned to see the little girl running toward her, her crayon-stained hands waving excitedly, Clara wondered, could there be more stories waiting to unfold? What surprises might the community share next? She felt the thrill of adventure tugging at her heart, urging her to take a leap of faith. Clara could hardly wait for the dawn to break. Clara woke up the next morning feeling the promise of a new day in her bones. The sun streamed through the window, washing the station in a warm glow. Today was the day, a day filled with potential. She quickly dressed, excitement bubbling within her, and headed to the station, feeling buoyed by the happiness in her heart. As she arrived, she found Emily already there, setting up the refreshment table. "I brought extra cookies," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "And I think we should set up a lemonade stand, too. It'll be perfect for the kids." Clara laughed. "You think of everything, don't you? Let us do it." As they moved around the station, more neighbors began to trickle in, each contributing something unique. A large banner was unfurled, its bright colors declaring, "Welcome neighbors." Crafted by Clara and Emily's collaborative efforts the night before. The air buzzed with the electric energy of anticipation. Clara moved through the crowd, soaking in each smile and laughter, feeling more connected than ever to her community. Everyone seemed to share their stories, where they grew up, what their dreams were. Clara found herself captivated by the tales swirling around her like confetti. Suddenly, she spotted the little girl from the night before. She was there with her mother, pulling along a wagon filled with art supplies. Clara approached them, her heart warming at the sight. "Hi! I'm so glad you made it." The little girl's eyes sparkled with delight. "I brought my crayons. Can we make more art together?" "Absolutely," Clara said, her smile broadening. As they set up a little corner for the kids to express their creativity, Clara overheard the girl's mother talking to another neighbor, sharing stories about how her daughter had been struggling to express herself before she found her love for art. "We just never knew she had it in her," the mother said, her voice swelling with pride. "This event has changed everything for us. It's like she has found her voice." Clara's heart squeezed. Here was another story unfolding, a reminder of how art can connect and heal. She glanced at the little girl, who was so engrossed in her drawing, oblivious to the deeper implications of her simple joy. As the hours passed, the station transformed into a vibrant tapestry of creativity. Laughter rang out as children painted, decorated cookies, and wove friendship bracelets. But the highlight was when the artist Clara had invited stepped in, ready to unveil their piece, a mural that would be painted live before everyone's eyes, symbolizing community and connection. "Just wait until you see what we create together," the artist said, sparking the crowd's curiosity. The moment felt electric, as if a string of fate connected everyone who stood there. Clara's heart raced, she felt a swell of emotion welling up inside her. As the artist began to paint, Clara caught sight of the little girl, her wide eyes fixed on the mural, a portrait of hope coming to life right before her. But before Clara could fully absorb the beauty of the moment, disaster struck. A neighbor tripped over a forgotten paint can, sending it tumbling and splattering colors everywhere, mostly on Clara and the little girl. "Oh!" Clara exclaimed, unable to contain her laughter. Now covered in bright paint, they both looked at each other and fell into a fit of giggles. Standing in that colorful chaos, Clara realized that this event was turning into a living mural of shared experiences. It was proof that sometimes, life's unexpected moments give birth to the most beautiful memories. As the fun continued around her, Clara pondered one powerful thought: could the accidents be the most daring strokes of art? What hidden stories would unfold next among her colorful crowd? She took a deep breath, anticipation racing through her as she felt the dawn of a new surprise waiting just around the corner. The laughter continued to ripple through the station, a bright symphony of joy. Clara wiped a hand across her forehead, leaving a muddy streak of vibrant blue paint. She looked around, her heart swelling with the sight of her neighbors creating, laughing, and forming bonds. This was more than just an event, it was a celebration of togetherness, a tapestry woven from shared moments and newfound friendships. "Okay, let us clean up a bit," Clara called out, snapping her fingers to grab everyone's attention. "Then we can start brainstorming for the mural." The buzz of chatter faded slightly as people turned to her. As they gathered around, she could almost feel the excitement tingling in the air. "What do you want our mural to represent?" she asked, glancing over at the little girl who was still coloring by her side. "I want it to be a rainbow." The girl beamed, her cheeks dusted with orange and pink paint. "Because rainbows make me happy." A collective ah followed her declaration, and Clara couldn't help but smile. "A rainbow sounds perfect." "Anyone else?" Another neighbor chimed in. "How about symbols of friendship? Like hearts or hands holding each other?" "Yes," Clara said, bouncing on her toes. "We can all add something personal. Everyone can paint a small part of the mural." Inspired, the crowd immediately began discussing ideas. Clara glanced around, taking in the variety of faces, all filled with enthusiasm. This wasn't just an event to paint a mural, it was a chance for each person to express themselves and leave a mark on something truly beautiful. As the group split into smaller circles, gathering paintbrushes and colors, a sense of purpose settled over the station. Clara approached Emily, who was busy organizing the supplies. "I can't believe how amazing this turned out. Look at everyone working together. It's more than I ever imagined." Emily nodded, her eyes sparkling with pride. "It really is like a family gathering. You know, it feels like this community needed something to bond over." Clara glanced over to the little girl again, who was now chewing on her bottom lip in concentration, her wide eyes darting between her artwork and the supplies. She felt a tug at her heart. "Do you think they'll remember this day?" she asked Emily. "I think they'll remember it forever," Emily replied, her voice soft. "This is the start of something special." Hours flew by, filled with color and laughter. Clara made her way to the mural, picking up a brush, her heart racing with inspiration. With each stroke, she felt an overwhelming sense of connection. The canvas was becoming a living testament to who they were as a community, diverse, vibrant, and uniquely beautiful. As Clara stepped back to view her work, she marveled at the explosion of colors. But then she noticed something: it was starting to rain. Light droplets pitter-pattered against the station roof, but instead of dampening spirits, it invigorated them. "Let us keep creating," Clara shouted over the increasing sound of the drops. "We're just getting started." The crowd erupted with enthusiasm, painting beneath the rhythmic song of the rain. It was wild and joyous, and Clara felt as if they were all part of a magical moment far beyond an art project. They were in a dance of creativity, a celebration of life that forged stronger bonds. But just as the clouds began to part, revealing a breathtaking sunset that bathed everything in warm golden hues, a figure emerged from the edge of the crowd. Clara froze as her breath caught in her throat. It was the little girl's mother, eyes filled with surprise, scanning the vibrant scene. Clara felt a chill run down her spine, remembering their earlier conversation. What would the mother think of her daughter's transformation? And what did it mean for Clara if they finally spoke? The moment hung heavy in the air, and Clara's heart pounded with something she couldn't quite name. But would this reveal be the start of a new understanding? Or was it simply another twist in the colorful chaos of their day? She couldn't shake the feeling, something profound was about to occur. The tension simmered as Clara stood staring at the little girl's mother, whose expression gradually shifted from surprise to wonder. She took a cautious step closer, her gaze sweeping over the mural, the laughter, the colors. Clara swallowed hard, trying to gauge the feelings that flickered in her eyes. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Clara finally managed to say, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions inside her. The mother nodded slowly, her lips curving into a warm smile. "I can hardly believe what you've all created here." The little girl, sensing the shift, dashed over, brandishing her crayon masterpiece. "Look, Mommy! I made this. It's everyone having fun." Her voice glimmered with pride, each word a testament to her journey into expression, to discovering the joy of creativity. Clara watched the mother's eyes light up, perhaps finally seeing how her daughter had blossomed. "It's wonderful, sweetheart." She knelt and embraced the girl, a moment of connection that seemed to melt away the barriers of doubt and uncertainty. As they all turned back to the mural, Clara felt a surge of warmth radiate from within her. The station was alive with the vibrant echoes of laughter and creativity. Neighbors mingled, exchanged stories, and painted symbols of their hopes and dreams on the canvas that would tell their collective tale. It wasn't just a party anymore, it was a testament to the strength of community, a living representation of resilience and unity. With a deep breath, she approached the mother again. "Thank you for letting her be a part of this," Clara said earnestly. "It's amazing to see how she has taken to sharing her art." The mother's eyes softened. "I didn't realize she had those talents until today. I think she truly feels like she belongs here." "Just like the rest of us," Clara smiled, feeling the bond of understanding strengthen between them. "We all have voices that need to be heard. I've just begun to understand mine." As the mother nodded, Clara felt an unexpected rush of gratitude. She was no longer just the woman behind the counter, the invisible anchor of her family. She was a force for change, a part of this tapestry that connected them all. The realization struck her like a train whistle, crisp and clear, that their stories were interwoven in ways she had never imagined. As the day rolled into twilight, the mural came alive under the glowing lights. Each stroke of paint, each joyful laugh became part of the story they were telling. With the colors blending into a chorus of hope, Clara felt the energy shift, a sensation of transformation that swirled through the crowd like a skilled conductor orchestrating a symphony. The local artist who had come to create the mural stepped back to survey their work, then raised a brush high. "Let us finish the mural with something special. Each one of you holds a piece of this community. Everyone who painted here today deserves to add their signature." Clara's heart raced with excitement as everyone began to step forward. They added their names and little nothings, notes of friendship and phrases full of love. The little girl painted a small rainbow just beneath the larger mural, symbolizing her newfound joy. Clara captured the moment in her heart, the echoes of laughter, the bonds formed. This event was proof that even amidst uncertainties, the beauty of coming together could carve a path toward belonging. As the last touches were added and they admired the colorful masterpiece together, Clara felt an overwhelming wave of calm wash over her. She realized that she had not just organized an event, she had initiated a movement. From that day forward, the train station would serve as a symbol of hope, resilience, and communication. As the evening unfolded into a starry night, Clara turned to Emily, who was beaming from ear to ear. "We did it," Clara breathed, tears of joy welling in her eyes. Emily nodded vigorously, "We sure did." In that moment, Clara understood the full spectrum of her journey. She had risen from the shadows, ignited by a little girl's faith, finding strength in vulnerability. This community, this connectedness, had transformed her life as much as it had inspired those around her, and as they all stood together, taking in the mural and each other, Clara felt a warmth deep in the corners of her heart, filled with hope, filled with love. The train station had gained its pulse back, breathing life into the stories it once carried, a vibrant testament to the beauty of shared dreams. Now is their moment to hold on to that feeling. So, my friends, this is where I urge you to join in on this journey. You need to subscribe now to witness more incredible transformations like Clara's. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread this message of community and hope. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. Let's continue building connections and bringing joy into our lives.